Hi, this is Romy. This will be a two-part video, I think, maybe three, on how to make little bean bags or hacky sack kind of toys from kid socks. It's a simple craft. It's really easy to do. You can use recycled elements, you can use odds and ends, and it's also a good opportunity to talk to kids or work with kids on basic math and science principles like measuring, weights, properties of materials, what's stretchy, what's not, what difference does it make if you're using materials that are slippery surface texture or rough. How does changing the weight of a ball make it easier or harder to throw a certain distance? What about if you put a tail on it? Does that affect it? And if you don't want to use it as a math and science lesson, it's just fun. Okay, so to start out with, you need kid socks. These are small ones, about a size 4 to 6, works really well. See here I have a ruler and it's not quite 6 inches across this foot. Small ones work well. This is the short kind that comes to the ankle and has a little stretchy cuff here. I got a bunch of these at the dollar store. There were 3 pairs in a pack for $1. So you get 6 socks or 6 balls out of $1. And pretty much everything else is odds and ends that I had. But you can use a variety of materials. You're going to need some kind of beans or dried peas or something to use as the stuffing in the bean bags, as the filler. I have a 1/4 cup measure, and I had a 1/3 cup measure, and I also have a little container here that had gelato in it, which is about right. So you're going to need somewhere between maybe a 1/4 to a 1/3 cup of beans, and maybe some fun spoons to measure how many scoops fit in there, with different kinds of spoons if you want to try some measuring and counting, especially with smaller children. If you can do some work with a scale, that would be great. This is an old postal scale. You can weigh the container that you're going to put the beans in first and figure out how much that weighs, and then you put the beans in it, figure out how much that weighs, and you can count the beans and figure out how much they weigh per bean. Lots of ways to do simple little math kind of measuring and weight exercises that way too if you want to, if you're going to use this maybe like a homeschooling math and science lesson. Lots of ways that you can measure the stuff. Measure the sock before you stretch it, then stretch it out, measure it again, talk about properties of elasticity. Measure how much the sock weighs. How do you figure out how much something weighs if your scale has increments that don't work for you, that you can't figure out how much they are? Maybe you have to weigh a bunch of them and then divide it up with some math that way. So the simple process for doing these socks, basically, into a little ball.